probably a freshman in high school, and I think for my birthday,
got an itch.
I asked my mom. I was like, Mom was like, what do you want for your birthday? I was like, I want a welder. And they were
Burn
like,
the fucking house
yeah.
down.
My mom's like, absolutely not. You're not getting a welder for your birthday. And I was like, why? I'll teach myself how to weld. It's not that hard. And then fast forward, my mom will appreciate this story. My freshman year of college, when I started taking all those classes, and I had to take a welding class, and like one of the first nights that like I was like walking home from welding class, and my mom called me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming home from welding class." She's like, "Oh, how was it?" I was like, "Thanks for not buying me a welder when I was 13, because I would have totally burned the house down."
Back to the Dirt Drive podcast.
Where the nose knows.
Where the nose knows.
Sorry, so no more Jefferson's Ocean during recording.
Jefferson's Notion.
This is
He's dead.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I fucking hate my friends.
This is episode 52.
Happy 1 year.
Happy 1 year. It's completely fucking unhinged. We're 10 seconds in.
Shenanigans.
Because we're fun, damn it. Tom's drunk on Jefferson's Ocean.
Notion. You gotta say it right this time.
Jefferson's in the shack. Oh, fuck.
I should have eaten lunch.
It's the same whiskey that Tom was drinking from the last episode. He's been drinking it for a week straight, so he's super drunk. But yeah, this is it's kind of cool for us. This is our 52nd episode. We've been doing this officially for a year.
It's wild.
It is wild.
A week short of a year, if you ask me.
Yeah, if you ask Tim,
not.
we're 1 week away from a year because the year has 53 weeks in it.
Yeah, but it was a leap year, so it added a whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Look, I had my smart episode a few episodes ago with the whole overlanding thing. I'm gonna be an idiot this time.
You got to really balance it out.
You got to bring that notch back down. You got to give the people what they want.
Yeah,
which
we
is
almost became an
stupidity.
educational podcast by accident.
Oh God. Oh.
Yeah,
We cannot afford to have that label on our podcast. Explicit, totally fine. Educational,
No. That's going to be expensive.
yeah.
Educationally explicit.
How would that work?
Explicitly educational?
Ooh.
violently safe.
Violently safe.
That's a good sticker.
Violently safe.
Explicitly educational. You're gonna learn some fucking shit today, you little.
Going to hear some words.
Whoa.
Oh, that was
I'm
aggressive.
gonna bleep that one.
Whoa.
Yeah, we may actually have to edit that one out. Wow.
Except in Australia.
Hey, you know what? 1 year in, and we're finally doing our first edit.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I edited.
That would require Tim to listen to the whole episode.
I honestly
No,
think,
we only have to listen to the first minute for this one.
I honestly think I edited too hard in the start. If you go back and listen to the first few episodes, you can see where I'm cutting out pauses and like doing
Well,
all
we
that
did
shit.
we did want to try and be a clean podcast, and we realized that was too difficult. So fuck it.
Let's just
well,
not
we
who
also
are,
kind of
yeah.
realize like that's. I mean,
It's not us.
you can listen or not listen. That's
Yeah,
entirely your prerogative.
Yeah.
perfectly fine with
If
it.
your children listen, that's you're a bad parent.
Kids are going to learn eventually.
That's what I keep telling my wife, and that's not apparently an acceptable answer.
Your
Yeah, I
kid's
don't
too
know,
young to learn right now. You say whatever you want.
Yeah,
That's what I said, and apparently that's not an acceptable answer.
yeah, he'll be all right.
I said the same thing. It's like worst case scenario, he drops the F-bomb when he's 4 years old,
Yeah,
just
you
like
gotta-
my sister did, and he doesn't realize what he's doing.
Yeah, and you get a call from the school. I mean, look, Brian's turned out all right.
No, he's not.
Moment of silence from Brian's kids.
They're-
No, just Brian.
Yeah.
Love you, buddy.
Brian
there
is
was
going to
a-
create his own problem. God.
What the fuck is that?
That was completely accidental, but totally worth it.
There was legitimately a second where I didn't think we would make it to a year. I didn't think we were going to get here. It's been
Yeah,
hard.
the first episode on the
scheduling's-
SD drive that's supposed to have been burned
it's
really put in perspective,
That would-
wow,
yeah.
we need to get our shit together.
It's double backed up. I've got that saved so many times.
Why?
I
What
just go,
if one of us wants to run for political office one day?
Yeah.
oh, you're fucked because
that's
Yeah,
okay.
the ones we've published.
First of
would
all,
probably
that
be enough.
sounds horrible.
it wasn't
fine.
that bad.
Honestly,
we'll reach
I don't
like-
really care. I wasn't really there, so it doesn't make a difference.
you were
See, what you
sleeping.
need to do is reach like 5 or 10 years and post that episode and just call it
But
the
like
burn files.
But so you
No, PJ,
There's
PJ, you weren't there.
Yeah.
No.
There's there's
What
a
I can
lot
do-
of shit said on that should never come to light.
what I can do, PJ, is I can post it but backdate it, so you've got to search to find it. And it won't show up like Dirt Drive posted a new episode. It would be show up like.
Or-
Have you ever heard of the
way-
concept the internet is forever?
Or,
no, I would never do that.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
what you could do is shoot it into space and never talk about it again.
So
See-
what we're doing is we're making that episode a lot worse than it was. It wasn't that bad. It was mostly us just high and drunk, and
Right.
we talked a little bit of shit. But we've talked.
A lot of bit of shit.
I think we've talked more shit on all of the other 51 episodes than we did
Discreetly, though.
in discreetly.
Discreetly.
But there is a ton of shit
Because
talk.
that's the beauty of all this is if we get too rambunctious, we can cut it.
If we get too rambunctious,
That is
we still
an
won't get two
entirely
shots.
uncut episode
Yeah, it's that. No, that
of
episode.
Tom
yeah.
falling asleep on the couch because he's so
it's
high.
snoring. Yeah, mostly me snoring.
That was. Yeah,
And
I'm.
we didn't realize how much these microphone wires capture noise. Just like Tom is sampling now.
I'm honestly impressed that we've made it to 52.
Yeah, I'm with you.
oh,
52,
100%.
52 continuous
Yes.
with like there's
A couple bonus episodes.
A couple bonus
Yeah,
episodes. in
you're
there.
welcome, listeners and followers,
Yeah.
for the bonus
For the
episodes.
bonus episodes,
Yeah.
30 episodes ago, and we haven't done one since.
Gotta
Listen.
take that lead from Cal Ripken. Never miss his aim.
What?
What?
Never miss a game. That's why they call him
Oh,
Iron
miss a
Man.
game.
Yeah, you didn't say game.
Never miss your aim is what I heard.
That's what I heard.
And I was like, wait, what?
I'm like, do you even know who Cal Ripken is?
Yes, I
Mike-
do.
Well, yeah.
You never miss a shot you don't take.
Michael
It's
Scott,
true. It's true.
Michael Scott quoting.
Michael Jordan.
Ah.
Or
First
is it
you
Wayne
could do
Gretzky?
I was
Yeah,
actually,
Wayne
I was
Gretzky.
actually
Yeah,
assuming,
Wayne Gretzky.
I was actually assuming Tim was going to answer that because he's a total Office nerd.
I haven't watched The Office in a while. I never
yeah, but
got
you
Peacock.
watched it on repeat.
Yeah, but I
like,
never got Peacock.
What does
what's that have to
with
do
it?
with it?
Peacock Plus. It's only on Peacock Plus.
It was on Netflix for
It was,
like,
but
the
they took it off.
longest time.
They took
I'm
it off.
surprised you don't own the DVDs.
They took it off when I lived with Trevor.
That's true. They did end it
Wow, that was
like,
it's like
right
4 years
before.
Yeah,
I lived with Trevor at one point. Yes.
that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, on that note
Of
of TV and shows,
Yeah. How did we get to a year? How did we get into all this? Because at one point we all watched something on TV.
We were a bunch of young, impressionable children watching
Yeah.
inappropriate car television.
and Jesse James came on TV.
Watching-
Jesse James.
yeah.
I think our generation, from a car guy standpoint, is pretty much entirely to blame on Jesse James.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, Monster Garage is like
Yeah.
threw me over the edge.
Yep.
I never watched the new one. Do you ever watch the new one?
I did. I don't. I should get Discovery Plus because I've always heard good things, but I didn't watch any of the new stuff on Discovery Plus because I don't have it.
I think that's why a lot of, not Jesse James necessarily, but I think a lot of kids learned how to throw chairs
Wrenches?
across a room
That's American Chopper.
from American Chopper.
Yeah.
Paul Senior. Paul
I-
Jr.
Yeah,
I
Paul
love-
Senior, Paul Junior, baby.
I love the fact that that became a meme like 10 years after
Oh,
that
yeah.
season. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like that was so much
and it's
later.
it's to
it's
this
still
day.
a meme. It's
like
so
to this day.
good. I remember as a kid like watching those shows and like it was all cable TV, so it was all bleeped.
Yeah, of course.
And like I remember, I want to say it was probably an episode of American Chopper, to be completely honest, where it was like every other word was bleeped out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was probably 13 or 14, and I remember my mom like yelling down like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like,
Skinamax,
I'm
Mom.
like, it's Discovery. It's,
Yeah.
it's American Choppers. I'm watching my car shows. I was like, what?
That was probably by far one of the worst car shows. One of the worst automotive shows.
I
guess,
think-
is American Chopper.
Well,
Because it was drama. It was 100% for the drama.
but I think they are the reason there's so much manufactured drama because I think they naturally produce that drama. I
Yeah.
don't think they had to manufacture that.
No, those two guys hate each
well,
other.
I think Monster Garage did the same thing. I think
But
Jesse James is such like an aggressive dude.
Yeah.
That just came off naturally. And they're like, oh, this does great on TV.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
And I had the opportunity. I met Paul Jr. and Vinny when I worked at the museum. Like they did a bike unveiling. It was like my first month at the museum.
Oh, damn.
They showed up, filmed an episode of American Chopper, and unveiled 2 bikes. And the 2 bikes sat in the museum for like 2 years. And I got to like hang out with Vinny for like 2 hours detailing the bike when they parked it in the museum. Like both of them are really chill dudes.
Except
and
when Paul Senior's around.
Well, and that's the thing is like I know it's TV, so like some of it's probably egged on or whatever, but like there is legit tension and drama in that show, which is what made it as good as it was.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was real. Where like now
It's all
like,
fake.
It's all faked, and like overhauling is. I don't want to say a farce because it's not like they're not building the car, but it's like it is. It's all acting. It's all manufactured.
Just like any reality TV, like you know when you're watching it, you're just like, this is total crap.
So you spent time with that bike detailing it. Is the build quality
Yes.
up to
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always thought that like Orange County Choppers was like kind of like, oh yeah, we're build these bikes, but then it's kind of like thrown together sloppily.
See, I
and
never
all
got
shit.
that. You get that impression from Pimp My Ride.
Oh yeah.
Well,
But-
Pit My Ride was known for cutting corners.
But that's my point, right? But I think with Orange County Chopper, like I never got that impression watching that. Like I always got the impression, like when you truly watched that show and just ignored all of the
drama.
side crap that was going on, when they really focused on the bike, because there were a lot of episodes where they truly did focus on the
you can
bike
scroll
builds.
through those. Those are pictures I took of the bike in the museum.
Like those bikes were very, very well put together.
I think so.
That's Welder Up does the same thing. I think their shit's super high quality too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, the I think the thing mostly with American Chopper specifically was like because the drama was such good TV and so entertaining.
People focused on it.
That the bikes kind of got pushed aside, which I think ended up ironically being the downfall of it, right? Like
Yeah.
we always joke that like that's what these TV shows thrive on. But like the difference is their bikes were so good that it got lost in the show.
Yeah.
That's probably why I thought they were.
Yeah.
Because there was
yeah.
there was so much pomp and circumstances around the bike that I'm like, they can't actually be building a good.
Well, if you
good
look,
Yeah.
if you watch the seasons, right? Like you've got like the first season very heavy on the bikes, right? Because that's
Right. That's where it starts.
That's how it starts, right? And
Yeah.
then they realize, ooh, man, people are really watching. We get a lot more interaction when they're talking. It's the same thing that happened with like Ink Master, right?
Oh, yeah, it's
the
like-
whole first
yeah.
season is all about the tattoos, and now all of a sudden you get to season 16,
Yep.
It's just people yelling at each
and
other.
and it's like
Reality show.
Yeah, it's just a reality show.
And yeah, I think there's also a factor of like there becomes a point where like the only reason the show is successful
Is the drama?
is the drama, like with like a show like Ink Master,
Yeah.
where the people who are signing up for that, it's no longer about tattooing. It's I want to make myself famous. I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
I can be entertaining.
Or
I'm
I can
gonna get typecast.
become an asshole.
Right. And like this is just gonna propel me. It doesn't really
Yeah.
matter how good I do
Yep.
whatever. And I
Which
think,
is a sad thing for our society, I'll say.
Yeah,
sure.
Like because you look at Truck Night in America, right? Like that's all about the
Yeah.
rigs and the race and all that, and
Yeah, I mean,
obviously other things
yeah.
happen that make that show stop, but you get these shows where you, like Tim said, it makes you think, oh, this thing is crap because all they're about
that's
is
always-
the drama.
That's always how I felt about Diesel Brothers. Is like they're not actually; these things can't be
Well,
that well put together if they're doing all this crazy
I think
shit around it.
the biggest thing with Diesel Brothers was they weren't the ones building the truck. They had a whole separate team. And like if you watch Heavy D's YouTube channel, they talk about it where he's like, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not an engine performance guy. I'm a business guy. I'm marketing. I love trucks. I love
I think
these toys.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be around them, but it's not what I do. And I think that was where they kind of got lost. And they went through a lot of techs because like if you watch those shows, basically every truck build was a different group of people building it because I think they brought in people who were very good at what they did and they realized like, oh, this is TV. This isn't a shop.
Yeah.
And I do think
kind of what Abe was saying with he applied for a technician job on a TV show and he didn't realize that it was more of a TV personality than a technician.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah, they needed a fabricator,
Right.
and that's what he is. And so
Yeah.
he went, "I'm a fabricator,"
I
and then
think,
they were asking him to take his earrings and
yeah.
lip rings out.
I think the difference is the people who are in the industry, right? Like the people who work in shops and build these things look at it and go, that's not how a shop runs. But then the general public who doesn't work in
that.
a shop
Yeah.
or care. They just like cars and trucks. They watch it and go, "This is fun." And that's also I say it all the time at the shop. I was like, TV has ruined the average automotive consumer.
Oh, yeah.
Right, where people go, "What do you mean it takes a month to build this?" And it's like, yeah,
They got it done in a 2-hour
well,
episode.
it's quick and easy. I watched a YouTube video on it, and it's like it's all edited. Like, oh, the YouTube video is 7 minutes. What do you mean it's going to take 2 hours to do my install? And it's like, that's not
Editing.
Like
Well,
they,
even Abe made that comment about people when they complained about their times. It's like, yeah, I see on this episode it only took me. It's like because you're editing out 10 minutes of nothing.
and even if you're not editing out, like Lucky Casas has said it in interviews and videos and stuff, where like his day job was finishing the overhaul in cars because they make it run, they make the stereo work, they paint it, and they park it, and they go, "Look at this cool car we built. You can't drive it right now, but look at this cool car we built you."
SEMA all
and
over
then
again.
and then 6 months later, it's in a warehouse, and Lucky's the guy bleeding the brakes, finishing all the grounds to make all the lights work, doing whatever tuning, test driving, break-in drives, like all that stuff that gets factored into actually building it that doesn't happen in the 7-day build film
Because they don't need it
right,
to.
right, because their priority is filming the show, not building the car.
Yeah.
I actually just watched a Faster with Finnegan episode where he talks about why he's not on Faster with Finnegan anymore, and I guess it was his YouTube channel, Finnegan's Garage, but he says the same thing. He's like, I was just burnt out. He's like, the show was so much fun, but he's like, we had to do those builds in a week.
Yeah.
And we
Garbage.
didn't want to put our name on something that was garbage. So we worked 20-hour days to make these builds happen. We would travel to film the beginning of the episode, come back to my house, thrash on a car for a week, travel to do the final race, come home and do it all over again. He's like, I had no time with my family. Like it's TV. At the end of the day, it's TV. It's not about building the car or the bike or the truck or whatever. We're building this for a TV show. You're on a budget. You have to do it in a set amount of time, because if you go over that time, you're not
doesn't get
paying the
filmed.
production crew extra.
Yeah.
So your budget gets thrown out the window, because that's the biggest expense in the build. Forget the car, like the 5 people with cameras, the film, the editing, all the extra footage that has to be gone through. Like that's
Yeah, the car may cost you $100,000.
yeah.
But that episode's
Cost you another $100,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
More than that.
So it's it's been really like maybe it's the podcast, maybe it's being around it more, maybe it's just getting older or just the way the industry's going, but like
Oh, you're definitely old.
seeing it from a different perspective than I did when I was 14 watching Monster Garage, going, that's so cool, right? Because I was the teenage kid going, that's cool, I want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever see that show?
Scrap Heap Challenge.
Is that the one who went into the junkyard and had to build something?
It's like a team of like
That was
4
Junkyard
different-
Wars.
That was
That was
Wars
awesome.
was so
Junkyard Wars is so
awesome.
good.
I think that was
one
the
of my-
American version. Scrap Heap Challenge was like the British version, and then they did an American version.
So it's like
was
the
the Junkyard Wars.
So like The Office, they made it better when they made it
Yes.
American.
Yeah.
But it was the same
You're
thing
going to
where it
piss
was
off
like
a lot of people by saying that.
I don't care.
it
I
was
want
the
the
4
right people
different
to piss off.
teams, and they had to like build something that was the
Yeah.
theme of the
Yeah.
the episode.
Yep.
And they were in a junkyard.
And see,
that was
that's-
a cool show.
That's fucking cool shit.
Junkyard Wars was. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I haven't not thought about.
'Cause that's
Junkyard
all of our
Wars
Jeeps right
in
now.
years.
That was
No,
legit.
Junkyard Wars was even more, because it was ridiculous things.
Yeah.
They'd have to build like
A lawnmower that does 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
right.
no,
I know.
that was
Or
Monster
no,
Garage.
no,
but
that-
it was like build me a fire-breathing dragon, and they're building
And they
that
would
out of like
compete.
lawnmower parts.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
would compete against each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
Was it Monster Garage where they did the 100-mile-an-hour paint truck, where they had to paint the line painting truck?
Yeah, that was a Monster Garage episode. They also did a Fox body lawnmower. Yeah. So
What was the premise of Junkyard Wars again? Because
Junkyard Wars, it was 2 different teams. They all had to build the same thing, and then whoever won
Built
the
it
challenge.
better.
So like the one that sticks out in my mind as I'm recalling all this was they built trebuchets. Like
Okay.
the medieval war
Yep.
machines that launched things, and they had to launch a car, but
It was
they could.
a lot of engineering.
Yeah, it was like legit.
Well,
Yeah.
the people that were on there was like legit
But see,
engineers
but
and
that's-
designers.
To me, that's what makes a good show. Like that shit was legit.
But that's pre-American Chopper. That's
True.
That's pre the dramatic reality
True.
TV.
That was just good
And that-
TV.
that was
just like
just-
it was engineering. It was like actually like educational
because
TV. That
well,
was
and
fun.
that's the shit that you look at and go, I want to do that.
In that light, would
I'm
you
not smart
consider Mythbusters to be a?
Oh, I love Mythbusters.
Oh, I love Mythbusters.
100%.
They also have
Because they
Motor
did a
Mythbusters
lot of
now.
car stuff.
They did. Yeah, I think Mythbusters was definitely
Well,
more
yeah, I
is
mean,
a general show, but
Je-
they did
Jesse
a-
Combs was on that show for a
Yeah.
while as
Yeah.
their like car expert.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
The one that hurt me on Mythbusters was when they took the pig carcass and put it in a Corvette they just bought. To see if they
Oh.
could get-
Yeah, they've ruined some perfectly good
They did.
vehicles. Now I will.
Now
res-
we
I
did
will
learn the
respect-
strength of duct tape on
Yes.
that
Yeah.
show.
Mythbusters never took anything nice and ruined it.
That Corvette was nice.
It's a Corvette.
It was probably ruined in some
Yeah.
facet.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was probably totaled. Let's be
Yeah. And
And then
completely
they had
honest.
the
That was like a flood damaged Corvette or
Yeah.
something that they got for cheap, and they were like, "I don't care about putting a pig carcass."
the pole vaulting cop car.
that
Yep.
was a good one.
Great one. They couldn't get it to pole vault, but they ripped like 3 axles out of it. I'm like, I love this.
I'm trying to remember the one. I can't remember.
Basically, what I did the scrap heap.
Yeah, it is.
Doink.
Didn't quite make it over the bar.
No. Thankfully, we're going slow enough.
I forget the episode.
They sandwiched the car between 2 semi trucks.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I'm talking about the one where they were basically plowing through like
Oh, the
water
parked
filled
cars?
Yeah, and they
Oh,
were
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
see how far they could get. Was it a bus they used? What did
Oh, they
use?
definitely.
Some kind of semi.
No, they've done like the rocket launchers on the
Yes.
roof of the
yeah.
Cadillac, and like they've
Was
done
it-
some really cool shit.
But then they did some really like weird educational shit
The
where
drunk
they were
driving
like
episode.
the drunk driving one.
You didn't even realize that you were learning.
But like the one that always sticks out of my mind with them is why in cityscapes does UPS require their drivers to
left
only
turns.
make right turns?
Oh yeah, no left turns. Yeah.
Right? Because you're sitting there and you're like, what the fuck? Like, why? This is gonna be boring.
Yeah, they
but
plan
then
the
they
routes,
make a
yeah.
whole episode about why you only make right turns
Well,
in the
the
city.
tailgate down versus tailgate up in your
Yep.
truck.
Yes.
Yep.
Where they like measured
Yep.
the weight of the fuel. They didn't measure it by volume.
Well,
they measured the fuel by weight.
Not only
It's
that,
just
and then
easier
they
that way, yeah.
then they did the one where do you get better gas mileage with
AC.
your windows down or your AC on?
Yep.
That was a good one.
Yep.
Has anybody watched the new Moto Mythbusters? Is that any good?
Here's the thing. My and
Man, Mythbusters was really educational.
Mythbusters was so good.
I still watch Mythbusters.
Yeah. The Motor Mythbusters is good, and like they did retain a lot of the same premises of Mythbusters.
Carrie Byron's on that one, isn't she?
I think so.
Did
I know
Grant-
Tori's on it.
Did Grant die? I thought
Yeah,
Grant was
Grant-
Grant.
Grant's the one that
Grant
died.
did
Imahara
unfortunately
died.
pass away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Grant Imahara.
but the
Wait, what?
Grant Imahara. That's his last name.
Oh yeah, I was.
Yeah.
The way you said that, I was like, "There's someone else who died on Mythbusters." God damn it!
the-
Oh, but Adam and the two hosts,
Carrie,
Yeah,
I think.
Adam and Jamie.
Jamie, they don't
Is
talk
it
to each
Jamie?
other. They have no professional relationship anymore.
they didn't really like each
They
other.
didn't like
to
each other at
begin
all on the
with.
show.
It
They
was-
they weren't really working together before the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's another example of TV forcing things, right?
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
just worked. It just worked the way it did.
Yeah.
And like I think the reason Motor Mythbusters isn't as good is it's just not as genuine, right? Like
Yeah.
like the remakes of stuff historically is just never as good. And like Motor Mythbusters is great, but they're trying to be Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Like I'm
like-
not saying they don't have to do the same premise, but like it's different people, so it doesn't work in the exact same way. It's the same reason Top Gear
Gear,
America
yeah.
and the new British Top Gear just don't work. It's not the three people that made Top Gear.
I will say Top Gear with Rutledge Wood, Adam Ferrara, and Tanner
It
Faust
was way better than the
was
current one.
way better than
Yeah.
the current
Yeah.
one. It's
They did
definitely-
not give them
it's-
enough of a
it's
chance.
definitely the second best. That show could have
Yeah.
been so good if they kept
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
going.
absolutely.
And I like since then I follow Rutledge Wood and Tanner Faust.
Yeah.
They're very entertaining people.
Yeah.
And Tanner Faust is a fucking crazy driver. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. So like, crazy
I can't,
talented.
I can't believe I didn't know about him before that TV show.
He's kind of
Because who's it on the new one?
it's
is it
Rob
still a new one?
Cordroy,
Wasn't Dax?
Dak Shepard.
Shepard, yeah.
Who's the third guy?
some British guy. I don't fucking know.
No,
it is.
No,
It's
in Top Gear
American.
I
America.
thought it was
It
the
is.
guy
No,
from
it's-
Friends.
No, he's got an accent.
Joey LeBlanc. No,
Joey?
he's on the British one.
Oh,
Joey
that's right.
LeBlanc.
Joey LeBlanc is a legit driver.
Yeah.
Well, he's
He-
a gentleman racer, but yeah.
Yeah, but he like he knows his shit.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I like the OG Top Gear, British Top Gear on BBC with Clarkson, Hammond, and May was
Perfect.
the entire reason I am as deep into cars as I am. Monster Garage made me want to work on cars, but the lifestyle aspect of it is entirely to blame from Top Gear.
As Magneto
Yeah, I
says,
wish-
perfection.
They were always about the supercars and the high performance cars.
They weren't, though. If you watch a lot of the classic early stuff,
They're doing garbage.
well, it's not so much garbage, but they do everything.
This is perfect. But I love this.
Yeah.
The one I really appreciated when I think it was Discovery, and then it went to Velocity, was
Velocity was good. And
Yeah.
Speed.
Speed.
the two,
I
the
love
two
Speed.
British guys,
Oh, easy.
the Wheeler Dealer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
Yes.
hated that
Before the shaggy haired guy left.
Yeah.
one. Oh, yeah, he was
Well,
good.
That was a good show.
What the hell's his name? I'm going to blank now. That guy, the original mechanic on Wheeler Dealers, is the original Top Gear mechanic.
Yeah.
So all the ridiculous shit they built when they built the upside down cars welded together,
built
he
that?
was the one in charge of building all of that stuff.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Man, to be that guy.
What was the?
I saw them at SEMA. He's like
It was in the
6'5".
same
Yeah.
in the same vein as Wheeler Dealers, but it was the guy with the mustache that always restored like the
Chasing classic cars.
Chasing
Yeah,
Wayne Carini.
I did not like chasing classic cars.
It's kind of
Maybe that was
dry.
all- Yeah, that's
I
probably
have
why.
I have some Wayne Carini stories off air.
Okay, I can't wait. Don't we have some off-air episode or stories from the last episode that we need to talk about when we were doing the Overland stuff?
Well, it's more
I don't-
information.
It's information that I don't want to put out there without permission.
Consulting.
Like I don't want to be the one that puts it up
Got
publicly.
it.
Not that we're in the racing game, but how do you guys feel
No,
about
no, no.
Street
In 5
Outlaws?
years.
Oh, it is a
Street Outlaws
stupid.
was
Stupid.
it was good when
The-
it started
the
because I
whole
don't think they were
concept's
actually,
stupid.
I didn't think they were actually shutting street downs when it first started. Now they close streets and they're still
Street
racing-
Outlaws is on. They're on drag strips now.
Yeah,
How
but
can
when
you
it
be outlaws
when it first
if they're
started,
shutting shit down
when
for
it
you?
first started, I think they were actually breaking the law.
No,
No,
No.
they weren't.
it's the exact same thing as
if there's
as
a
the
production
Moonshiners.
team, you're
yeah,
not
if there's a
breaking laws.
production,
Yeah.
unless that's on a YouTube channel with handheld
Filmed in
fucking
Mexico.
cameras,
Yeah.
they're not breaking laws because that production company ain't gonna take that fucking liability, dude.
Nope.
Yeah, and
Because
it's
as soon as they hit somebody,
That's
they're
been the
screwed.
biggest
It's-
issue with that show for people who actually
Street
go
race?
out and street race.
Which
Yeah.
we don't condone.
well, but so
Off air.
That's the
Yes.
other thing, right? Like
Undisclosed locations.
like as this stuff gets more popular because of TV shows, like there are so many of us doing things legitimately that like the Street Outlaws guys
Yeah.
that are inspiring people to go and street race, that's making it harder for us to continue doing what we
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah, that's why the government crackdown.
Right.
happened and all
Like
that
thankfully
shit.
the off-road stuff has not gotten to that point where like
Yeah.
Well, they've stopped producing the off-road shit commercially, so that's
well,
kind
that's
of
beside the point. But
yeah.
even when it was produced commercially, like it was always on a public trail. Like the off road community,
Yeah, they weren't breaking
the
into people's
majority,
private property.
right? The majority has always said, "Hey, like it is important to maintain the access that we have." Where like Street Outlaws came along and it was like, "Yeah, we're fake racing on the street, but like we're actually doing it." Yeah, woo."
I bet if there was an off-road outlaw show where they were playing
Right.
and breaking onto
Yeah.
people's property, people would lose their collective shit.
Yeah.
Very
because
quickly. Yeah.
there is already a stigma against
The off-road
off-roading.
community would band together.
Oh,
to
dude,
get
they-
it shut
Right.
down.
where the street
be the
racers
biggest
were like,
amount of
"Yeah, we're
rednecks.
legitimate now."
That'd be the biggest amount of rednecks canceling something outside of Bud Light.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're giving us a bad name.
yeah. No, it's
Because like you said, like the off-road community, as much as people don't want to believe it, are conservationists at their heart.
what's our thing? Responsibly reckless.
Exactly. And so
Trademark.
Yeah. To sit there and try and make a concept around that, like that community would lose their shit, right?
Yeah.
The whole car community, like, yes, everyone at one point wanted to go fucking street race
Yeah.
their shit. Like, that's okay. And people believe it.
Yeah.
But I'm with him. Like, it's a dumb concept because you're not
I can't believe they're still
actually
around. I can't
doing
believe they're still making shows.
But the
Just go make a racing show.
But that's the reason they're around now is because they've all gone legitimate.
yeah.
yeah.
It's become a thing to have these no prep races
So
on racetracks instead of doing it on.
Well, and there's
on
not
the
even like even the guys
roads.
who actually street race, quote unquote. Like even those guys are like, no. Those are all sanctioned. Like we don't just go fucking find a strip somewhere and go race because too many people got hurt, too many people died. Like don't do that shit.
Am I saying the guys on the show weren't street racing or doing things prior to the TV show that were illegal? No, they probably
not at all.
were, which is where the concept comes from.
We've all done illegal
But the
shit.
the things I've learned, and this may ruin the magic of TV for a lot of people, but the people involved in making those shows go out with a plan to make the show.
Yes.
It's not that they were a bunch of street racers going, hey, it'd be a lot of fun to have a cable TV show that makes us millions of dollars. It was a, hey, we're doing this anyway. Let's make this legit.
Yeah.
It got pitched to somebody and they went,
Because
we're going to make that.
Not on the topic of cars, which is the whole topic of the episode. How is Moonshiners made?
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
So Moonshiner specifically, and like from day one when Moonshiners
Which I
came
did love
out,
Moonshiners before he went
Right.
legal. That was a good show.
but
I liked
was
Moonshiners.
always-
But to that point, right? The whole concept
premise.
of that TV show is marketing for his business.
Yeah.
No
He
legit
didn't get-
moonshiner would ever
Not only no production company would do it because now
your accomplices.
you're exactly you are literally part of
Like, he
the
was in the
production of a
works.
felony.
Yeah.
And they're going out and interviewing ATF agents. Come on. Like you would
That-
all be
he was
arrested
going legit.
individually.
Now I do believe that I believe Vice did that shit. I don't think Discovery did. Vice
Well,
definitely
yeah.
did.
Yeah, but
There's
Vice
a big
doesn't
difference
have
between-
the identities and we're filming
Yeah,
at a
yeah.
secret
Yeah.
location. They would just go, yeah, this like we're in downtown Baltimore. We're not going to tell you because we don't want to die.
Yeah.
like
We're disguising the person's voice and we're
Yeah.
filming them
with
backwards.
moonshiners. He again, as much as this
Yeah.
may ruin it for a lot of people, he probably already had the paperwork in to be legit.
right.
Like there was no way
was
he
the
was
only way you were gonna
producing
film it and
alcohol on film
Illegally. Yeah.
It doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. Now, was he making moonshine before that? Absolutely.
And on the off chance anybody in any of these production companies that started these shows is listening and wants to prove us wrong, we'd love to have you on the show.
come prove us wrong. We'll make an off-road show completely illegally.
No. We'll just have you on the show. We'd love to hear your side of the story. We'd love
Yeah,
to.
bring it on.
Yeah, we'll do a follow up. But yeah, it's like I don't know. It's TV. It's movie magic. It's
Step up.
Hollywood. It's all what it is.
To the streets.
However, it still inspired us to do what we do,
Yeah.
right? Like going back to Monster Garage, like I remember being, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, whatever.
Yeah.
And at like I think it was like it was probably like I was probably a freshman in high school, and I think for my birthday
Got an itch.
I asked my mom, I was like mom was like, what do you want for your birthday? I was like, I want a welder. And they were
Burn the
like,
fucking house
yeah,
down.
my mom's like, absolutely not. You're not getting a welder for your birthday. And I was like, why? I'll teach myself how to weld. It's not that hard. And then fast forward, my mom will appreciate this story. My freshman year of college, when I started taking all those classes and I had to take a welding class, and like one of the first nights that like I was like walking home from welding class and my mom called me and I was like, oh yeah, I'm coming home from welding class. She's like, oh, how was it? I was like, thanks for not buying me a welder when I was 13 because I would have totally burned the house down. This is way more difficult than it looks like it is on TV.
Parents knowing what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Right?
Like
Shit.
Keep it up.
The thing that resonated with me as a young teenager was Jesse James in Monster Garage, like talking about building shit. He's
Just like being a normal person on TV.
well, but he made a comment. He's like, if you give me chicken shit, I will make chicken soup. And I was like, oh fuck. Like that's it. Like that's all I need to do in life.
I'm gonna live my life by that long.
But it's not even that. It's just like it's the whole find a way, right? Like
Yeah.
if you don't have to have all the fancy equipment. You can make it work with whatever you have. You just have to put the effort in to do it.
Yeah.
So we're making that a sticker, you're saying.
As Bert
When life
Kreischer's
gives
dad
you
says,
chicken shit, you make
Albert-
chicken soup.
Jesse James may actually sue us though. Everybody else will send us a cease and desist. Jesse James may just go straight to the lawsuit.
fine.
As Albert Kreischer says, Bert Kreischer's dad, eat shit, cash checks, it'll pay off eventually.
Fair. I'll give you that. I think it's the same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it
But-
done any way you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we go back to Top Gear though? Because I want to reminisce about old Top Gear.
Oh
Top
boy,
Gear.
here we go.
Like good classic Top Gear. OG Overlanders. Just putting that out there.
What do they call them? They call them caravans.
Does everyone want to guess who Tom's favorite is?
Jeremy.
The racist one.
What?
Jeremy Clarkson was definitely racist.
I don't know if it's racist.
And I'm not saying in a bad way either.
A little outlandish, but yes, I'm definitely Jeremy Clarkson. 100%.
If you've ever spent more than 5 minutes around Tom, you would know the answer to that question.
No, it was one
Am I
of my
James May then?
yes.
100%.
Hold on. No, let's back this up. He's definitely more of a Hammond because
Okay.
he's not the sensible one. James May is a little bit sensible
That
and
is-
reserved.
that is true.
That's not Tim.
That is true.
Tim is Hammond, where he just kind of screws everything up.
And he just does it.
I love you too.
Like if there was anybody in our group that's going to constantly wreck cars,
Oh, it's definitely
it's you.
I did just wreck the most recent car. So.
Yeah, it
No,
wasn't your
you
fault,
got
though.
rear-ended. That doesn't fucking count.
I will defend you on that one. It wasn't your fault. However, if there's going to be like if we were constantly given supercars, you would be the one to wreck it.
Oh, yeah.
I would say I love you, Tom Walk. If you were around more, that would be Tom Walk.
100%.
We miss
You're
you.
still not James May, but yeah, you're.
We miss you, Tom. We want to see you more.
Yeah. No, but my top 3 Top Gear episodes ever are when they ride mopeds across Vietnam.
Okay.
They literally buy like $500 mopeds in Vietnam and ride from the southern point to the north. It's like 850 miles on mopeds.
Senor Vespa.
Yeah, it's such a good quality episode.
No Luca fans here.
No, I think you're on your own there.
Trevor got it. He's just not saying it.
Number 2 is Bolivia.
I know your wife. You've watched Luca a lot.
I don't get it. Number 2 is Bolivia, which is legit overlanding, where they drive like some of the most remote. And I mean, I get it. They have a massive production team and a massive following with them, which is how they pull it off. But they are literally doing these ridiculous overlanding trips in pure garbage.
Yeah.
And then there's an episode where they literally go to Iraq. And they are in 2-door roadsters. James May is in a Z4 convertible. Hammond's in a Miata. And what the fuck is in Clarkson in? I'm blanking out again.
Probably the most American fucking thing you can imagine.
No, that's Hammond. Hammond's the American one. Anyway, the point is they're in these 2-door convertibles, and they're on a C-130. They land at a base, and they're in legit
The fucking Bagram Air Base.
Yeah, no, it's legit Bagram. They land in Iraq, and they drive these things through Iraq to Israel.
Fuck.
Wow.
And like legit border crossings, like fucking May's Z4 blows a head gasket in a downtown market in Iraq somewhere. Like it is, and like at one point, I forget what country, they end up in another country, and they're like in a hookah bar smoking hookah, and they're like, we got to modify our vehicles to drive across the desert. And then like it cuts, and they're all in these lifted roadsters with like tents and rainbow paint jobs. Clarkson's got a hookah literally strapped to the side of his car.
Oh, I remember this one, yeah.
It's such quality entertainment, but it's also like it's legit road trips. Like it is the quintessential reason we have road trips and we do road trips.
So here's what we're gonna do now, because Tom loves Top Gear with Clarkson and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's just given us his top 3, but we're gonna test his memory. And in honor of the 52 episodes, what are your top 52 episodes of Top Gear?
Top 52?
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
test
so
your memory
many.
now, because I know you've watched that series like 17 times.
Top 52.
I can't put 50. I just gave you my top 3. I might be able to do a top 5 because Bolivia's like the Argentina one is good. Both American
Here we go.
Both American road trips are good where they get so they always fuck with each other on the road trips, right? If you've never watched the OG Top Gear
it's
specials,
fantastic.
so they drive to, or they fly to Miami, and they have to buy a car in Miami, and they're driving to like Texas or something. And at one point, like, so Hammond is ironic, like, has always been the American, right? So he buys him like a pickup truck. He gets an old, I believe it's a Dodge, if I remember correctly. It's like a first or second gen Dodge pickup. And they decide halfway through the panhandle of Texas that they're going to paint each other's cars up. And they take paint or pink paint on this white Dodge pickup, and they write like Hillary for president.
Oh, that's awesome.
Honk if you're gay, like all this shit. And it's Richard Hammond, who's like 5'5" skinny British dude wearing a cowboy hat driving this truck through southern Alabama. They stop for gas and they legit get rocks thrown at them and have to run from a bunch of rednecks in Alabama who are like chasing them down.
I love that.
And it's like because being a TV show, they film legitimately, so they have all these visas and permits to be in other countries filming. And there was a point where they were like the U.S. government actually banned them from filming in the U.S.
Well, they
for
got kicked out of a lot of countries, didn't they?
Yeah, so like the Argentina one is like their most recent one. If you follow
was there
it,
something about Hitler in that one or something?
well, so there was a war between Argentina and England over an island on who owned it, and it was like in the 80s. Like it was a relatively recent law, and they import a bunch of cars from England to do this Argentina road trip. And the car that Clarkson is driving happens to have a license plate which had the way the initial the numbers on it were 1982, which was the year of the war, and like the first three letters like related because it was like the Falkland Islands. So like the license plate was like
FAL
1982 or something along those lines. And people in Argentina made the connection to the war because it's a big sensitive subject.
And they're British.
And they're British, so it was like this whole big thing. And same thing, they literally like legit security. Like there are parts of that episode, right? This is a multi-million-dollar production. There are parts of that episode that are filmed on cell phone cameras because they legitimately had to pile in the vehicles and run to the border in the middle of the night.
Damn.
And like what people don't realize,
That's one of the ones that got them canceled the first time, isn't it?
yeah, it was like one of the last British seasons
Yeah.
that they actually did it. But in England, the license plate stays with the vehicle. So it's not like in the US where when you buy a vehicle, if you go and register it, you get a new license plate. That license plate is on that vehicle from day one. So if you sell the vehicle, the license plate stays with it.
Happenstance.
It was complete happenstance. Like they legally could not get a license plate. Like even if you wanted to make a political reference, it's just not like legally possible. It would have to be a fake plate, which they were able to like later on show all of the paperwork that was like, no, that plate's been on this Land Rover for 30 years. Like,
Yeah.
Damn.
it's just complete
It
happenstance.
was the production of the plate.
Right.
We were making FAL and
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
numbers.
So yeah, I mean, like they've definitely had some good controversy, and like Clarkson's always got controversy going on, but
Well, he's Clarkson.
it's the Joe Rogan effect, right? Like the
He says something controversial and it just gains him more
Right, yeah,
followers.
Yeah, like the most recent one was something with the royal family and all the bullshit, which is like such a British problem to have.
I think it was something about Meghan Markle.
Yeah, it was right after the Harry and Meghan special came out. But anyway, back to the car shit. Like, I've always said that the only way you replace them is to have 3 legitimate friends.
Yeah.
Or 4. Just putting that out there.
Sure, I mean if you want to directly replace them, and that's like, I think that's where
I see where you're going.
I think you missed it.
Yeah, no, I got it. I got it. We
PJ's just over here combing his mustache.
we are very entertaining in our own right, but we are not the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like that.
We got faces.
You
for
are
it.
not him.
Yeah.
I'm he, because I'll never be him.
I'm into pronouns. Let me see them titties.
Jesus Christ.
It's one of my favorite current memes.
It's Segura.
That's our episode going hard left.
Yeah. No, that's hard right.
Yeah.
That's hard right.
No, left. Liberal.
Hard they.
Oh,
Hard day.
I don't know.
Welcome to the circus,
Yeah,
folks.
yeah. For me, it's Top Gear and Monster Garage are definitely the top 2 inspirational shows. I watched a lot of American Chopper, Fast and Loud.
Yeah.
Diesel Brothers later on as I got older. Like I did enjoy the shows.
Yeah, the nice thing about Fast and Loud is I think it was obviously made to be a TV show, and he just wanted a shop inspired TV show.
Yeah.
It wasn't a shop that got a TV show. It was like, I want a TV show. So the hot thing right now is automotive shops. So
Yeah.
And I think too they came in at a good time when like everybody else was doing we gotta finish this car, we're gonna lose the shop. Shout out Tony Angelo, and like they kind of came away from that a little bit.
Yes,
PJ.
Got a good one. I don't know if anybody else watched it. The Stacey David show, Gears.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was another good one.
Was a Power Block show, wasn't it?
That's
think
Power
so.
Block. Yeah.
Yeah. Those the early days. Spike TV.
Truck U, Power
Yeah.
Block. I loved that.
Extreme 4x4. Ian
Yep.
Johnson's original show.
Yep.
That was
That was good TV.
that
without
was
drama of TV.
That was hey, I'm installing this lift kit. This is what I know about this company. This is what this lift kit does, and I'm going to show you how to do it in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Well, if anything, all the guys moving back to YouTube is showing like those guys can't stand.
Yeah.
Like the
It's a
drama,
running
like,
joke on the current automotive stuff.
But that's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
It's like you have all these guys. They just go like Finnegan. You know, he's just like, I'm just burnt out. So what does he do? He goes and makes his own YouTube channel because then he can do whatever he wants on his own time. Like
He literally quit the show that has his name in the
on
title.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we're seeing that massive swing back to
Yeah.
those guys who started on YouTube, then got
going
TV
back.
shows. Now they're going back because they're going, why did I ever give away power in this situation?
I think the YouTube streaming thing has definitely done a lot of good for
Oh,
the automotive
100%.
TV because it's become more targeted, so they can put those kind of shows on without having to appeal to the general public who's like entertained whether it's a car show or not.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. I don't know. Would you guys watch all the same shit?
all the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. It's
Not a very diverse group here right
It just-
now.
I had a bunch of Orange
It's
County
like where
Chopper
the-
books.
Yeah. It's like we're the same age of middle class white people.
yeah. Yeah, it was just
We're the target market.
Here's a good one. It's not technically automotive. Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard classic.
yeah.
We can't have a conversation with Dukes of Hazzard without Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
And what
I
did we all watch?
I did have
Fast and Furious.
I did have a
Oh,
Dixie
yeah.
horn on my CJ7 from
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard because I was told I needed it because I was the redneck, and someone in my high school was like, "You need a Dixie horn." I'm like, "Oh, what?"
Again, we're going to clarify this. You
The
grew
redneck
up in
from Ashburn.
Ashburn.
You've heard my story about that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is still one of my
This is one of the
greatest
best
moments
things.
of our friendship was when we walked into that Jimmy John's in Ashburn.
Fucking love Jimmy John's.
And
Shout
the-
out Jimmy.
And the kid,
Jersey Mike's is better.
the kid working at that Jimmy John's was like, "Oh shit, you're that guy from my high school. You had that orange Jeep." And I'm like,
You're the biggest redneck.
and he goes, "This kid's the biggest redneck in Ashburn." And I was like, "Oh
shit,
my
that's a
god,
thing."
it's a legit thing." Because there were like people in my high school that considered themselves rednecks, and then like I moved to Colorado and was like, "Oh shit, that guy is not a redneck."
Nope,
Like,
that's a city boy.
yeah, that's a city boy. Just because you got a truck does not make you a redneck.
And a lifted truck at that.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the same shit. The
I
nice
want to
thing
watch
is,
Junkyard Wars now.
Yeah, I know. It's on Discovery Plus.
Is it?
I think so.
The like OG Junkyard Wars.
Pretty sure.
No shit.
Yeah, they've got Dirty Jobs all the way back to the first episode. Junkyard
Dirty
Wars.
Jobs is another good
Dirty
one.
Jobs.
Yeah.
See that, and that was
Again,
another
not-
one that
yeah.
that put a lot of. He does such a good job
you
of
need to-
putting that stuff in perspective.
You
for
need to go
people.
back and listen to if you don't listen to this past weekend, Theo Vaughn's podcast. His one with Mike Rowe is so good.
Yeah.
Mike Rowe talks about Dirty Jobs.
We should have
pretty much
Mike
the
Rowe
entire-
on.
Oh, I would love to.
He's local to Baltimore, I think.
I'm assuming with
He's
Mike.
got family in this area.
he's got
I'm
family in this
assuming
area.
with Mike Rowe on, Theo Von did not make his Hiroshima joke.
No, it was not that one.
Wrong podcast. But yeah.
But yeah, Mike. I think Mike Rowe.
Great transition.
Right, Mike Rowe. I think the reason his show resonated with so many people is because he truly gave a look into.
Yeah.
This is how it actually like. Yes, these are dirty jobs. Yes, you're gonna get filthy doing it, but he puts it in such a light that it's like it's not only necessary,
To keep the country going.
but it like this is important shit.
Yeah.
Like and he's always been one that's always pushing kids into trades and all that stuff. He's very active talking about how we're losing that aspect of our workforce. And that's
Fucking true.
no.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Like it's true. And like his show is one of those things that thankfully I think made a lot of kids go, "Oh, it can be cool to do that stuff." And it's like, yes, it can. And you're going to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, with our generation, I'm glad that Tom and PJ got it. I don't know if you ever got it, but I was never in growing up in Ashburn and being interested in trades. I didn't even know Monroe existed. I didn't know you could go do trades in high school, and I wish I did because I wonder where I would be today.
I was-
like it was obvious.
I can tell you from growing up in Alexandria, it was not talked about.
Yeah,
I
Like like one lick. When you had career fairs and all that shit, it was all
IT,
white collar,
engineering, and
government. Like
I was in 8th grade.
the most blue collar it got was law enforcement and firefighters.
yeah.
Got a good one for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
It was back in the VHS days. Mighty Machines.
Ooh.
I never saw Mighty Machines.
You remember that shit?
Huh?
Yep.
Is that like how it's made?
Yeah.
Because
Kind of.
how it's made
Kind of.
was excellent.
How it's
Yeah.
made
How
is
it's made
It was
Mighty
it was more
Machines.
towards kids though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You're also 4 or 5 years younger than us, so different.
To your point, and I 100% blame this on Monster Garage. I was in 8th grade, and in middle school, they had a presentation. Like, it was a big assembly. Like, it was great. You got out of whatever class, and they went over all of the high school options. And there were things like my sister did. Like it's similar to Loudon. They call them academies or whatever.
Yeah.
My sister did one that was based around political science, right?
That worked out for her.
Yeah, it worked out great. But they go through it in like political science. There was a culinary one. There was a like an engineering STEM type thing, and like all the way down at the bottom of the list is automotive technology. And they fucking glance right over. It's like they go through the whole list. They tell you all these programs, and they're like, and like you can also do automotive technology. So if you want to do any of this, like talk to your guidance counselor or whatever. And I was like, huh? So like I'm like obsessed with Monster Garage, American Chopper, Top Gear.
Autotech.
I'm like cars. I want to work on cars. Like I was building model cars. I love Legos, and like I go home and I tell my parents about it. Both my parents were like, well, I don't know. Like you're probably gonna want to do more than like just be working on cars. And
That's the guy who sells forklifts.
Well, the term my dad used was grease monkey, right? Right, and like
That's a term of endearment, sir.
and like love my parents. They explored it.
You
right,
remember that?
They went to a further like presentation meeting, whatever, for parents specifically about automotive tech. Met the instructors, like, heard the pitch, whatever. And in 8th grade, this is going to blow a lot of minds. I was left with the decision because I legitimately was going to a Catholic high school to play hockey. Because when I was in middle school, I played a lot of roller hockey. I wanted to play more hockey. And like the only high schools that had hockey programs were the Catholic schools. Ooh. I had tested into one of the Catholic schools with...
Is that the part that's blowing people's minds?
Yeah.
You actually tested into it?
Here we go. Ready? Got high enough test scores that I was in advanced placement classes with honors.
Advanced Jesus class.
No, like, Jesus Christ. Yes.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Were you high enough though?
It was in 8th grade. I was 12.
So yes.
Yes.
Anyway. So I was tossed with, do I go to Catholic school to play hockey and take a bunch of high-end classes, or do I go to public school,
Go to be a grease monkey.
and be in the automotive VOTEC program? And we all know what choice I made.
Definitely Catholic school.
I wish, because I still to this day contest that if I had played more hockey at that age, I would have been way better at it.
You still wouldn't have gone pro.
You don't know that. I was very athletic when I was 12.
Sure.
So was I.
And then we saw you
So was
playing
every
bass.
other 12-year-old.
I didn't play bass. See, that's how I know you're just making shit up over there. I've never played bass. Thank you.
You had the face for it.
I played bass.
Anyway, but yeah, like
Slap at the bass.
the VOTEC ended up being the best situation because it like one, it made me realize like, oh, working on cars is more than this, right? Like at the time I kind of wanted to design cars. I wanted to be an artist. And then I realized I did not have the skill set for that.
That's as Trevor said, you wanted to be Mr. Foos.
Yeah, no, but like legit, like I had like notebooks.
I'm over by the Foos booth, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
The what?
The Foos.
The Foos booth.
Foozy.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, overhauling and chip foos was definitely a big thing.
Hey.
The fools.
But yeah, no, I did not have the art skills. It's funny, like when I was 12 and 13, I was like, yeah, I could draw cars, and like actually some of them are probably in the boxes over there. And I saw them, like, and I'm like,
Tim, grab those. We'll post them up.
I've got drawings of the Camaro when I first got it. When I would try and draw it myself.
Yeah, and at the time,
The CJ7, the same thing too.
It probably looked really good to you when you were 12.
Oh,
and now
yeah.
you're like, whoa, who the fuck drew that? How many left hands do you have?
I didn't realize I was autistic. This is bad.
I think the best part
He's
of
got 2 thumbs.
I think the best part of your education for me is hearing you tell people that you have a degree in automotive management.
I
And
love
they
hearing-
sit there and they go, "What do you mean you have a degree in automotive stuff?"
yeah.
And it's like, yes, it's a legitimate bachelor's degree in automotive management. Like, this is not just we went and wrenched on cars all day, because that's what it was. But there was a different aspect to it, and it's hysterical watching people's minds just melt out of their ears.
But it's like, I mean, I was too young for my mind to melt because I was just excited that it existed.
Yeah.
But my parents did the exact same thing. Like, they were like, wait a minute, so you can get a... Because, like, they were like, oh, well, don't you want to be an engineer? And I'm like, no, math class sucks. I want to work on shit. I want to build shit.
Leave that
I
shit
want
for
to
the
yell at
nerds.
engineers.
Yeah, I'm going to curse them for the rest of my life.
So what's the most influential show that you watched? What's the single most influential show that you watched growing up? I know mine.
Yeah, for me, it's Monster Garage.
Monster Garage.
If I had never watched Monster Garage, I would probably not be sitting here and having
Yeah.
this conversation.
I think so. Because Monster Garage was really like the big start of that era.
Yeah, I think like all
I think
like
anyone our age,
Mythbusters,
probably.
Junkyard Wars, all those other shows would have led me to being an engineer.
Yeah.
Monster Garage was specifically I want to take 2 pieces of metal and stick them together with hot metal.
Yeah.
You had me at hello.
Sounds like a nice Saturday.
On that horrible disappointment. It's a great way to wrap this one up. On that horrible
Are
disappointment.
you guys going to chime in?
Yeah.
Monster Garage?
Oh, Monster Garage was definitely.
I feel like PJ's got a different answer.
I feel like it was Orange County Choppers that got me interested.
Yeah.
Monster Garage definitely got me interested in the automotive and like the custom aspect of it. And then once I started watching West Coast Customs and
Forgot about West Coast Customs.
overhauling is where I started really getting into, I really want to fix stuff. I want to flip cars. I want to build stuff.
I think there was a weird mesh of like, you'd see things on Pimp My Ride and you'd be like, that's really cool that they put all this shit in a car.
It was more
And then
entertaining though.
No,
Yeah.
but then you'd go watch something that they did on Monster Garage and be like, oh fuck, they actually made that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Functional.
So I think that was the big disparity there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think anyone our age is probably in that same boat.
Shoot us a message. This will also be on YouTube. Let us know what.
Did we decide on that?
Maybe. Well, it's going to go on YouTube either audio only or video and audio.
yeah.
Let's put a disclaimer then at the end of the episode that don't mind the unfinished basement.
Yeah.
The studio,
washed out half section of this
the
couch.
terrible lighting.
Or shoot us a message on Instagram at the Dirt Drive DirtNerds Offroad. Let us know what you watched, what influenced you to get into the automotive world, off-road world. Obviously, you know where to find us, DirtNerds Offroad.
Mike Rowe,
the
we'd
Dirt
love to have you on.
Mike Rowe, shout out.
At Mike Rowe.
Ian
Send the check.
Johnson. Who else?
Yes.
All of them.
Yeah, any of them, really.
Fred and Dave.
Anybody with more Instagram followers than us, if you want to be on the podcast.
Yeah, you know where to find us. Check us out. DirtNerds Offroad, DirtNerds Motors, The Dirt Drive. Hit the subscribe button on whatever app
Wow,
you're
you're
using.
really sucking at this right
sucking
now.
this
Like
right
and
now.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, hit the subscribe button on whatever app you're using.
Hit the plus.
If you're new, we upload every Thursday or every Tuesday. Jesus Christ, I'm really bad at this. I'm tired.
You should have
What
went to
are
Catholic
you
school.
doing?
I should have gone to Catholic school.
Oh my God! On that fucking bombshell. See you guys next
Yes,
week.
see you guys next week.
See ya.
Thanks for 52 episodes.
Gang, gang, motherfuckers.
Squad up.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Do you want more ridiculousness from the Dirt Nerds? Check out dirtnerdsoffroad.com. It'll link to all of our social media as well as our YouTube page, and you can pick up some sweet merch to help support the podcast and other adventures.